Hi everybody, it's Janet with Fruit of the Vine Art Studio here. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. Today, a friend of mine, Carol Reynolds, sent me some absolutely gorgeous napkins. And this was included in there with them. And I just thought this was so cool. It's not just a fourth or a piece or a half. It's a whole watermelon. And I thought that that was the neatest napkin. Look at this thing. Is that not cool? A whole watermelon. So she sent me those, and then she sent this beautiful pink plaid too. It has the green color in there also, which very much makes me think of the watermelon too. And when I start thinking of watermelon and pink plaid and things like that, I start thinking about summertime. Ooh, let me pull this up on the computer and see if I can see everything. If you hop on, I'd love it if you'd say hi and tell me where you're watching from. That way I know I'm on the right page and in the right place. So anyway, what I'm going to do today, guys, is I am going to take this 18-inch round, excuse me, I'm going to take this 18-inch round that I've got here, and I am going to use this portion of this napkin and a half of this napkin, and I'm going to make, what do you call it, a juxtaposition on here using these contrasting looks of these two napkins facing in different directions to create a really pretty door hanger. So I'm going to take these off. Now we're going to have to first paint this part white, and I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to have to paint black, and I'm going to put Mod Podge on this and let that dry, and then once that's dried I'm going to iron it on there. That's the whole intention here, so that it won't have wrinkles and it'll turn out just perfect. So I've already taped off this area here and this area here where the half of the napkin is going to be, because I'm going to paint this white in the background. When I put the napkins on the top, the white is going to help this really show through. If I don't put a white base back here, the napkin is going to more, the tan background of it will show through on this pretty little white napkin here. So I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to start by just using white. Really, I'm going to start by wiping that off. That feels like it's got a little dust on it, a little sawdust. I'm going to start by just using some white, and I'm going to paint this area white and this area white. I'm just going to place it on here and use this brush here. Now, it doesn't have to be a really thick layer of white, but I just want a nice layer of it back there in the back, so that when I place the napkin on there, it's going to help make it pop. So as you can see, it's going to kind of have, in a way, you'll notice it once we get it done, it'll almost have like a Pac-Man type look to it, the way that it's tilted this way and this part's tilted that way. But it's going to look really cool when we get it done. I'm really excited about showing you this. I think this is going to look great. I discussed it with my son, and he's the one who suggested that I do the juxtaposition of there so that it would have that interesting look to it. It wouldn't just be straight across in both areas. So now I'm just going to get a layer of white on right here too. And try to not get it all over my shirt. And it's a little hard to zoom you guys in on something the size of this. This is a little bit big, so I'm not going to worry about getting everything zoomed in for this. I just want you to be able to see what I'm doing, and I think that you'll get a really good idea of exactly what we're doing here once we get to going. Okay. I can see a hair right there. I'm going to get that out. And I'm going to hit up the sides of it while I'm at it. Just get that real quick here. Bottom half will have a white to it. The white edging. Top half is going to have a black edging to it once we get this going. Okay. Good. Just going to put that in there. Then grab my hair dryer. No, it's not plugged in. I thought it was plugged in. So bear with me just a second here while I plug in this hair dryer and create a lot of noise. Oops, don't want to blow this off. I'm going to keep this over here with me. Just want to dry it kind of quickly here. Get that hair out of there. So give me just a moment. I apologize for the noise. I know it's always aggravating to have to do this part. Hey, Mel. Hi, Carrie. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Oh, Carrie, you're from Michigan. Hey, fantastic. Let me just get this dry real quick. Ooh, drop my watermelon. Did you hear it? I doubt it. Just a piece of paper. Okay. Now, that watermelon portion looks pretty good right there. That's a little thick spot right there. I can see it. Okay, that should do good for that real quick. I might have to use it again here in a second. Because the next thing we want to do before we start moving our tape, and once our white area is dry, which of course around the edges, that is not dry yet. And I'm just going to get the little extra off right there along the edge. A little extra white paint that'll give little blobs and such, and I don't need that. Okay. Okay, I know it's hard to tell by looking at my hand because, of course, my hand already has white paint all over it. But yeah, that's dry right there for me. That's all the drier that I need this to be. So the next thing I want to do before I move on to these other parts, I'm going to put Mod Podge on here because I want the Mod Podge to dry. Because I'm going to use an iron on top of that to make sure that my napkin is as smooth as possible. So now we're going to get out our Mod Podge. I'll always leave that open this time. That is so rare for me, guys. Pull off this extra skin on the inside. Put that right there for a moment. My little trash bag over there is getting kind of full. About time to get another one out. But anyway, I am so glad to see you guys with me there. Mel and Carrie, I really appreciate you joining me today. This is just a little bit something fun I wanted to do. A friend of mine, as I said, Carol Reynolds sent me these really great napkins. And I just wanted to be able to do something with them. I wanted to come up with something fun and something cute that we could do with these napkins. And I've got these rounds here, these wooden rounds, and I thought, well, that would be a really fun thing to do. So that's what made me come up with this idea, was just a friend of mine happened to send me these napkins, and I thought that would be something fun to do on a wood round. So now all I'm going to do is just take this Mod Podge, and I'm going to try to get a nice layer of it on here. But I'm going to have to give it time to dry. I'm just going to, there's plenty of it in this. Get it all the way around the edges real good. Just a nice layer of the Mod Podge. And we're going to do the same thing down here on this part. And yeah, it's a little hard to see if you're getting it all. That's why you want to go around the edges extra careful, put an extra glob around the edge. Make sure you've got it completely covered. I'm just going to get plenty of it out here and just drag it around. Ooh, I got some white paint on my pants. I'm going to have to get that cleaned off. When you see things like that, really a little bit of Dawn detergent and water, just work on it a little bit, put your fingers to it and rub to the paint. And usually you can get the paint off if you haven't let it get, you know, too awfully dry and it hasn't been through the washer or the dryer. You can usually get the paint off if you just work at it a little bit. Now I'm going to go around the edges again, just like I said before. I want to make sure my edges have plenty of Mod Podge. And yeah, this might be overkill. It just might be overkill. But now we're going to wait for the Mod Podge to dry. And while the Mod Podge is drying, let's see, I'm going to put this in a different cup because I don't want... Mod Podge is basically glue. And I don't want a glue brush in with my paintbrush, so we'll just get another cup going here for Mod Podge. Stick that over there. And that's really probably going to be all the Mod Podge that we need, so we can put the lid back on it at this point. Then I'm just going to lift that up and wipe around here. Try not to wipe off too much. Okay, so now we've got these two areas covered with the Mod Podge. Okay, we're waiting on it to dry. And now we're ready to paint this background area black. So while I've got the paint on, or while I've got the tape on there, I'm just going to be letting this dry a little bit. I'm going to turn this that way. Now I'm not going to squirt paint on here for this. I'm going to put the paint on my old dirty paper plate. Oh, there we go. Sounded like that was hard to open. Oh, Lord, Calgon, take me away. It wasn't hard to open. Okay. I'm waiting on this to dry. And I can... Well, actually, I could go ahead and paint this and let that start working and then pull that off, because that's not going to matter. I just don't want to get it up in that area right there. So let me use this one instead. I'm getting wet. Just a little wet. And I'm just going to work around up here for the moment. And then we'll take the tape off in just a minute and get that little bit of detail in for there. But I'm going to work on the outside of the tape. Will you look at that? It just splattered black all over. Well, that's going to have, that's got Mod Podge on it too. I'm just tapping into that paint. I'm not going to worry about that, to tell you the truth. I'm going to leave that be. I don't think it's going to make too much of a terrible difference behind my napkin. There might be a couple of little spots on my watermelon that you see through. But I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. Just pull it. Blend it in with the Mod Podge. That's going to be ironed over. And I don't think it'll show through too badly there. This is already a little dry. I'm not too worried about this. This is going to be the watermelon napkin. Geez, guys, I'm doing crazy things. What's new? That little brush was messier than I thought when I was going around the edge. I got to be careful. Going on round and around here. This side's going to have black around the edges. Apologize if you all hear the chainsaw out there. We're having some work done in the yard. We had a bunch of trees fall back there. Made quite the mess. And we've got some folks out here cutting up the trees for us. Gotta look and see if it's making another mess, huh? I'm telling you. Take this around here. I am going to pull that tape off. I don't know why I'm being so timid about it. I'm going to pull that tape off. It's not going to matter anyway. How do you handle a mistake? You don't worry about it. You paint over it, or you just let it dry. And going to use Mod Podge. We're just going to iron it right on there. It's not going to hurt anything. It's not going to hurt anything. Put this down here and get to this tape back here. If I can. Pull that up. There we go. Wipe that extra paint off right there before I get it on everything else. Goodness knows I can easily make a mess. I enjoy it, guys. Sitting here doing silly stuff. And we're just going to go ahead and fill this in real quick right here. And then I'm going to pull the tape off and finish painting the black. Okay. This looks like it's dried pretty well. I don't think this is dry yet here, though. I don't. But that's okay. I'm going to pull this off. Put that on the edge of the table for just a moment. Pull that piece off. Is this dry yet? No. It's amazing. I took all that time to do all of that to try to protect it, and then I end up getting paint all in it anyway. Huh. Oh well. What did I say? The best laid plans, mice and men. I'm neither a mouse nor a man, so whatever. Okay, so that's off of there now. And we're not going to worry about that either. We're going to go ahead and use the black. And just fill this in. Right around here. After we get done, I'll make a pretty bow for it. I'm not going to do that while I'm online, though. I'll make a bow after the fact. And before I post the picture, I'll make a bow for it and post that for you, too, to show you a bow to go with it. just kind of take this and just lightly push it. You know, it really doesn't surprise me in the least that I got that all over the place. That just is so typical, typical, typical. Hoping not to get it on my napkin over here. Okay, we're just going to push this right up to the edge. And if it gets a little over, that's okay. I'm not worried about it. It can be a little bit over it because I think my tape was a little wider than what the napkin actually is. So we'll probably be filling in around the napkin anyway. And now you could get some beautiful like greenery to go with it, maybe eucalyptus leaves and stuff like that, and that could go around the outside of it, and you could give it a beautiful accent with greenery, flowers, maybe something that looks like watermelon leaves. That would be really pretty. Thinking I'm going to have to get out a little more black. That's okay. Got a little more on it too, didn't I? Just keep getting it on there. Whatever. It's okay. You have to consider nobody's going to be right on top of it looking at all the little flaws. People see this from the street, and it's absolutely adorable. Just wait and see. Of course, I don't know. I haven't made one yet. This is the first one, so I'm hoping it turns out absolutely adorable. I got a feeling it will. Turn this around this way for me. Get a little more of this black out. Yeah, I know, it's not straight. That's all right. It's kind of straight. Kind of straight. It's gonna look cute. Closer. Just filling this little area in here. I'm going to turn it again a little bit. Remember, we're putting the napkin on here too, so it'll create its own line once we get it on here. Okay, all the way over to there. There we go. Now we've got this really pretty background of black that's going to help offset everything. And you can see how it's looking kind of odd, isn't it? Just hold on. Just hold on. Next thing we need to do now is this dry. Okay, that is dry. We're going to dry this black off. Oh, there goes my napkin again. Give me a second for this. Hey, Jessica. I just looked up and happened to see that. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys are having a good time. It's a pretty day. Just trying to get this dry. Not going to need the paint for a second here. We are going to use a little of the light pink paint in a moment. But I want to get this dry good. And let's see, where is the iron? Because we're going to need the iron. There's the iron. Just trying to get this done. I'm sorry this takes so long. I know it's... Nobody wants to sit here and watch paint dry. Me either. I don't want to waste your time trying to babble and talk and watch paint dry. So we're just trying to get it to move forward here so that we can continue with the craft. It's drying pretty good, actually. I can see it. Doesn't have far to go. Right there is wet. And a couple of little spots right through here I can see. Almost. Let's hit it on high. Get it done. All right, let's unplug that. I've only got so many plugs over here. Did that break a light? Sounded like it broke a light. Let's hope not. Sorry, I'm off screen and everything else. Let me get this thing out and get it plugged in and get it warming up. How long we've been going? Oh, it's only been 30 minutes. That's not too bad. Not too bad. Plug it in the right way. Okay. Want it about halfway, right? Yeah, it's on. I can see it. Okay, so we're going to give that just a moment there, and we're going to put the bottom piece on first, I believe. Let me grab me a baby wipe here. They're not very wet, that's for sure. I was going to say and see if I can get some of that off of my fingers, but I don't think that I can, not with this baby wipe anyway. It's a dry wipe. We'll just make it a little wetter. There we go. Shoot, make everything wet. And I'm just going to get some of this off of me so that I don't mess up my napkins too much. I don't want to be sticking to the napkins with pink fingers. Paint on the fingertips anyway. Got paint all over my fingers. You can sit here and watch me while I wash my hands. I'm sorry. Alright. That's pretty good. That's got most of it right off of the tips of my fingers, which is really all I was wanting to do. Okay. Rub it on my pants. Rub it on my pants. Don't do that to your clothes. I'm going to get my napkin out now, and I've already got it cut. I'm going to peel this backing off of it. And sometimes napkins have more than one layer. This one seems to have just the one. Getting it wet, touching my pant leg. Make sure that doesn't tear now since I got it wet. Gotta be careful. Especially this little wet spot here. Let me work from this angle now. Okay, we'll just put that off to the side. Hoping that little spot of black doesn't show through too bad. Or any of these little spots of black that I've got all over. Now we're going to get this laying right where we want it. Let me get that out of the way. Exactly where we want it before we even get started here. I want to make sure it comes to the edge all the way. On both sides. Just like that. So, nope, that's not quite here. Just a smidgen, right here, right there, but it needs to be just slightly turned. Where's it sticking? Right there. Okay. Are all corners covered? I do believe so, right there. So I'm just going to place my little iron-on down and just smooth it out here. to the edge here. Get it all the way around the outer corners of it. There we go. Don't want to get going too much there. Start dragging a little bit of black onto it, and I don't want to do that. That's my finger. Okay, so the next thing we're going to get is our little sanding block, and we're just going to take it and just go around these edges. Just like that. Get that right off of this edge of that. Okay. I need to touch it right there. Right along that seam. I'm trying not to touch that black paint, because that black paint kind of melts up a little bit and touches, and then it'll be on it all over, and I don't want that. Okay, now we're ready for our pineapple slice. Pineapple. I am everywhere, guys! I'm telling you, I'm just in my head thinking, oh no, now I need to fix this, and now I need to fix that. Okay, watermelon. I love fresh watermelon. I do. I've got a half of one downstairs in the refrigerator. I ought to go down there and just get me some. Okay, now we're going to put this down here, and we may have to go around the edges of it with the black. A little bit in spots, because it's not exact. It was a little harder, actually, putting that tape down than I expected it to be. Okay. Right there you can see that, so I'm going to rub it a little bit. Just wet it a little bit. Okay, hopefully that won't be too bad. Here we go. Let me wipe that off. Okay. Press it down. All the way to the edge. All the way around the outside. Got it off just a little bit right there, didn't I? But that's okay, I'm not going to worry about that either. Get it right there. I can see a little air wrinkle. Just like this. Okay, I think that looks pretty good right there, guys. I'm going to turn this off. Unplug it. Now see how it looks so far? Isn't that cute? Okay, I'm getting black on me too from the side here. The side's not dry. I'm just going to wipe that. Now I'm going to take my black marking pen. I can see a spot right here. This is a acrylic paint marker. This is acrylic paint in a pen. Paint in a pen. And I'm just going to take it and see if it will do this for me. No, it will not. So that's not the kind of thing we're going to use on that. We're actually going to use some more black paint, and I'm going to get me a little brush. This little bitty brush right here. And I'm just going to take it and bring it right up to the edge. the watermelon slice. So, haha, got it right that time. You never know. And I don't want that to look thick either. I want it to kind of blend in, so go back and take a little extra off there. Just turn it a little bit. And yeah, I know it's noticeable right now because of course the paint is wet, so you do see it a lot better at the moment. Once it dries, it'll blend in perfectly. It's not going to look bad at all. There, just a little spot right here. Make sure there's nothing on my hand. I'm just going to bring this up to there. Honestly, I don't even know if from a distance you would even see that this is white and not part of the melon itself, because it blends in so well. Okay. That looks pretty good. I can see around where I went with the white. Just a little bit, so I'm going to put just a little bit, since that's making it just a slight lighter because it was white in the background. So I'm just going to add another layer around there. Here. All right. I'll put the black up. It's all looking all right. I want to make sure I had everything all glued down real good right there. It is. Let me rinse this off. I'm going to get out some beautiful parfait pink. I love this color, parfait pink. Maybe you. Now this is going to look backwards to you all. Of course my phone can't flip it around, but I will post a picture when I'm done so that you'll be able to see what it really came out looking like. So right in here, I'm just going to write the word summer using this beautiful parfait pink. I don't know if this is the right one to do it with or not, guys. He's kind of funny feeling. here. There we go. Uh-huh. And another hump. Bring it on down and over. Make an E right here. Connect them. Gotta connect those ladders, Okay. Just kind of going over it a second time a little bit here. Backwards, sort of. Bring that M down a little more in the middle. That M got a little wide. But that's alright, I'm not going to worry about that either. A little further. S just a little bit wider. And there we have it. I know it looks backwards to you, but I'll post a picture of what it looks like the right way. You'll be able to see how it's written. And then we'll get a hanger on it and put a bow over here on the side. There we go. Beautiful summer. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you again soon. Bye.